Hello and welcome to IELTS writing section. In this series of lectures, we are going to learn about IELTS writing task 2. Writing task 2 is nothing but essay writing. In this series of lectures, you will learn about how to write an essay efficiently. But firstly, we must learn about the IELTS writing section. Irrespective of the fact whether you are appearing for IELTS general training or academic, you will have to face writing task 1 and writing task 2. Writing task 1 for general training module is letter writing, whereas for academic module it is report writing. On the other hand, writing task 2 is always essay writing for both the modules. As shown in the table, IELTS writing task 1 demands that you write at least 150 words, whereas writing task 2 demands that you write a minimum of 250 words. As far as time is concerned, the total time for writing section is 60 minutes. It is advised by IELTS that you spend about 20 minutes on task 1 and about 40 minutes on writing task 2. Understand, it is not compulsory that you spend exactly 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2, it is just suggested by IELTS. On the exam day, you are not allowed to carry your wristwatch or mobile phones in the exam hall. So the question is, how will you keep track of time? The only way to keep track of time is this digital countdown on the screen. This countdown will go from 60 minutes to 0. IELTS examiner will not warn or suggest you that you should switch the writing task after 20 minutes. It is your responsibility. In fact, in the examination hall, you will receive question and answer sheets for both writing tasks together. You may choose to write either of the tasks first. That is, you may choose to write first task initially or even the second one. It doesn't matter. All that matters for the invigilator that you complete the writing section in 60 minutes. In this first lecture, we are going to learn what is essay writing in general. We will learn how to read the task. It may sound funny, but you will be surprised to know most of the students cannot score well on IELTS writing section because they don't comprehend the task well. And then we are going to learn about writing an essay in general. These primary guidelines are based on the structure of the task. Then you will also grasp how your essays are evaluated, and lastly you are going to learn a general approach of essay writing in this course. Let's begin with what is essay writing. An essay is used to present a set of ideas to pursue someone on the topic of discussion so that the reader can look at the topic of discussion from the writer's point of view. As far as IELTS is concerned, the essays are general in nature and do not need any specialized knowledge to write an essay. Now let's look at one of the tasks. Improvements in medical practices have improved the overall life of human beings. However, it has given rise to population explosion. Now, some of the students may write about improved medical practices while others may write on population explosion. The question is, who is correct? Because it could be understood from the statement that medical practices and population explosion are quite significant terms in the topic statement. Also, both these terms are so vast that you cannot express them in 250 words. In real IELTS examination, you will never face such a vague topic. IELTS will ask you for direct and specific questions so that you can express your thoughts in a structured way. This problem takes us to the next subsection, that is how to read the task well. We will consider the kind of essay task that you may face on real IELTS exam. Let's look at the IELTS version of the same task. The topic remains the same, that is, improvements in medical practices have improved the overall life of human beings. However, it has given rise to population explosion. Here, instruction is added. It is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of such medical improvements? The instruction clearly demands the merits and demerits of medical improvements. We could identify the exact topic from the instruction along with the topic statement. Now let's look at the real essay task. You will find that you are always advised to spend about 40 minutes. Then you will read the topic statement. In this example, the topic is some people believe that teaching children at home is best for child development, while others think that it is important for children to go to school. After reading the topic statement, you will always read instruction 1. In this case, the instruction 1 asks you to discuss both sides and give your own opinion. Remember, instruction 1 will vary with each task. Instruction 2 demands that you give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Instruction 3 is write at least 250 words. Before going any further, let's try to understand these individual components of any writing task 2 or essay writing. The topic statement is always the most important statement on the task, as it conveys the subject of discussion. From this statement, you can know whether you will write an essay on education or pollution or any other thing. Instruction 1 determines the scope of the essay. It defines the boundaries of the essay and helps you to understand exactly which aspects of the topic you should write. Instruction 2 would always demand that you give reasons and examples to support your answer. It will never change whatever the case is. Lastly, instruction 3 will always ask you to write a minimum of 250 words. Now that we understand the structure of the writing task or questions, we will try to understand what is the structure of the essay. Let's examine the general structure of an essay. From our experience, it is advised that you write about 270 words approximately in total. Writing less than 250 words is of no use. At the same time, writing more than 300 words is unnecessary as it is time consuming. Understand, the more you write, the more time you consume. That means you are left with even lesser time to even check what you have written. And so you will commit too many mistakes. The essay that you write must have an introduction, body paragraphs, and end paragraph. The introduction should explain the scope of the essay in about 45 words at the start of the essay. In this way, the reader knows what to expect in the actual essay. The body paragraphs, which are the main components of an essay, would have about 4 points and 2 examples. These paragraphs would contain a total of about 180 words. Lastly, the end paragraph summarizes the points and presents an opinion in about 45 words. However, the important question is where to write the essay. The IELTS shall provide you with a writing answer sheet which would look very similar to the one shown on the screen. If your handwriting is quite regular, that is, you can write about 8 words in a line, this answer sheet would be enough for you. In case needed, you can ask for a supplement in the actual examination. Before we go further, let's tackle some frequently asked questions by the students. The first one is, how many words should I write? I have partially answered this question a few minutes ago. Still, I will touch upon these additional points. You should aim to write about 260 to 300 words. An essay with a lesser number of words might not be able to sufficiently explore the views, whereas essay with more than 300 words might be too lengthy to finish in the given time. The next question is, do they really count articles like a, an, and the? The straightforward answer is yes. They count everything that contributes to the meaning of a sentence. And lastly, the question that students ask is, how are my essays scored? Now, this part is discussed in 2 separate stages. Initially, we'll try to understand the important aspects of evaluation criteria in this chapter itself. Yet, The last chapter deals with evaluation criteria in details. Having dealt with frequently asked questions, let's try to understand how your essay is scored in brief. At the bottom of the answer sheet, you will find some of the boxes which are used by the examiners to evaluate your essays. These boxes belong to certain aspects or criteria. Let's understand these one by one. Important evaluation criteria that you will see in these boxes are task response, that is TR, coherence and cohesion, that is CC, and lexical resource, that is LR, and lastly grammatical range and accuracy, that is GRA. We will explore these one by one. First, let's look at task response. IELTS will give you full scores in this criterion if your essay has at least 250 words with fully developed reasoning to back your position. Additionally, the essay should not have any repetition of ideas. And lastly, you must have also included examples either from knowledge or from experience to support your reasons and ultimately your position. If you fail to add any of these components, you won't be able to score well on task response. Evaluation criterion, coherence and cohesion deals with overall structure of the essay. Coherence asks for clear ideas which are organized logically. It simply means that the ideas which help you to explain your position must leave no ambiguity in the reader's mind. At the same time, cohesion deals with appropriate usage of cohesive devices and checks whether the essay has clear-cut representation of the subtopics in the paragraphs. In short, if your essay contains well-developed ideas organized in appropriate paragraphs, you can score well on coherence and cohesion. The third criteria is the lexical resource. The essay reader checks whether you have used a range of words without compromising the meaning of the sentence. And so, you must use all your words with precision. The examiner will also be impressed if you could use typical phrases and collocations used by the native speakers. Lastly, he or she will also be looking for spelling mistakes. Yet, keep in mind, IELTS will ignore a few minor spelling mistakes which don't actually change the meaning of the sentence. The fourth criterion is grammatical range and accuracy. According to the norm, you should be able to use tenses appropriately. The IELTS examiner would be very happy to see a variety of sentence structures which are used accurately. Lastly, your writing must also have appropriate punctuations without any mistakes. Apart from the criteria we discussed just now, there are few additional things which IELTS examiner will look for. The essay reader must count the number of words in the essay and ensure that 250 words are returned. If they fall short, you will be penalized. Also, before submitting your paper, check whether the essay is off topic or not. Your bands would be deducted if you don't stick to the given topic and if your response seems to be memorized or copied. You stand to lose a lot. In the end, if your handwriting is not readable or in other words legible, your bands will be affected for sure. Remember, you will not get any extra credit for clean handwriting just the way you might have got when you were in school. In summary, we have looked through basics of writing task 2. You have understood that topic statement and instruction 1 are quite essential to understand the scope of the essay. And there are 4 important evaluation criteria: task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Now that we have understood the overall structure of the essay and the evaluation criteria, we will now discuss the overall approach to learning writing task 2 in the rest of the chapters. There are 3 stages of learning how to write an essay on IELTS. In the first stage, we will learn about the basic components of the essay. First, we will study the types of the task, that is, different types of essays that might be asked in the real IELTS. Then we are going to learn how to write introductions, points and examples. Later, we will absorb how to write body paragraphs using these points and examples. And lastly, we will discuss how to write an end paragraph. Once we gain insights into the basic components of the essay, we will explore an approach to write essay writing. In the second stage, in fact, we will deal with sample of essays. One is for the discussion-based essay and the other for the opinion-based essays. Keep patience. In the next chapter itself, I will explain what I mean by discussion-based essay and an opinion-based essay. In the third stage, you will learn in detail about evaluation criteria. Here, we will take a sample piece of writing as an example and explore how can it be upgraded so that your scores improve.